All right, what is good, ladies and gentlemen, is the Mass Comparer back again with another comparison, and today we are going to be doing a comparison between K-pop, Demon Hunters, and Sinners. I thought that this would be a fun comparison to try because this is actually the first one where they're kind of both polar opposites and similar, because this one is very much like a horror, and the other one is very much like something that is more the opposite of a horror. But they both do involve demons, or I guess Sinners does more so involve vampires, but they feel like both similar and opposite, so I did actually want to compare them. They're also, I think, like the two of some of the biggest, they're not the two biggest movies of the year, but they are two very big movies that came out this year, so I thought that this would actually, it would be fun, it would be relevant, and it would be interesting. So let us just begin, starting off with the protagonist. So in Sinners, you have Smoke and Stack as the protagonist, both played by Michael B. Anthony, and in K-pop Demon Hunters, you have Mira, Zoe, and Rumi. And I think probably I more so enjoyed Mira. Okay, so the protagonist, I'm including Mira, Rumi, and Zoe. I'm including all three of them, and for Sinners, I'm including both Smoke and Stack. Up to this point, I think I was using one protagonist for whatever it was I was reviewing, but for this, I'm including like multiple protagonists. So I think personally, I like the K-pop Demon Hunter protagonist better. They were just more fun to watch compared to Sinners, which was much more serious. Smoke and Stack, they were so I like watching the more entertaining protagonist rather than the more serious one. So in terms of the antagonists in K-pop Demon Hunters, you have I forgot Jinu. I'm going to check that just a second. Yes, it was Jinu. I got that correct on the first try. And in Sinners, the antagonist is Remick, the vampire. So personally, I like Jinu more. He felt actually. So okay, this is interesting. Okay, Jinu he's not really the antagonist. Like he's kind of the antagonist, but then by the end, it really is. Just a second, I'm going to check his name. The end, it really is Gui Ma, who is the final antagonist. So I'm not going to call Jinu the antagonist. I'll group him as part of the sidecast. So I'm going to say that the antagonist, I'm going to give it to Remick. I think Remick was a better antagonist than Gui Ma, he was a good antagonist, but overall, like, he was kind of like in the background of the whole movie, rather than Remick, who was more so front and center in Sinners. So in terms of the sidecast, I'm going to give this to K-pop Demon Hunters. I thought that Jinu, like, I'm grouping him in with the sidecast. I thought he was a great character, and I think I ranked him as my favorite in the movie. I did a tier list for the characters, and I'm pretty sure I ended up ranking him as number one. So he was very good. Other than him, you had Bobby, Ken Jeong's character, and he was also very good. Sinners, you do have a lot of characters, but they're pretty forgettable. Like, if you ask me at the moment, I could not really name any. Like, it has been like I think 2 months since I watched Sinners, but I can't remember really anyone at the moment, except for like maybe I think Delta Slim and someone else here. I think I actually have the names pulled up here on the side. So you do have Delta Slim, Hogwood, Bo Chow. I have my computer on the side here. Usually I have it on the other side of me. But who else? Sammy, I think, right? Sammy? Yeah, Sammy. So you have like just a lot of characters that they all kind of like blend together. They're just all trying to survive together. And so I like the K-pop Demon Hunter sidecast better because they are just more entertaining, I think, in my opinion, and they're more memorable. So you also have all the Saja boys and stuff. So in terms of the settings, I'm going to give it to K-pop Demon Hunters. I think that it's a bit of an unfair comparison because K-pop Demon Hunters, it is like an animated movie, so all the settings look very nice, very beautiful and stuff. In Sinners, it's like much more of a kind of, it's like a very secluded film where it's like it all takes place in one location, which is the club that Smoke and Stack end up opening. So because just K-pop, it's like a kind of an unfair advantage, but still I'm going to give these settings to K-pop Demon Hunters. I thought it looked much nicer. All of Korea, it just looks very beautiful and stuff. Also the, I guess you would call it the demon world or the underworld, whatever you want to call it, it looked all very good. In terms of the rules of the movie, I'm going to give this one to, I'm not sure. So Sinners, the rules is basically that just vampires exist, I guess, and so you just have vampire rules. And then in K-pop Demon Hunters, you do have stuff involving, you have like the Han Moon, where it's like every generation there's like there's like a trio of K-pop singers that have to like reinstall the Han Moon, something like that, and then there are demons that exist, and they try to make people feel ashamed of themselves and guilty in order to take their souls and stuff. So I think I will give the rules to I guess K-pop Demon Hunters, it's more unique, but Sinners, it's like much more straightforward, I guess. So I'm gonna give it to Sinners because I do like the more straightforwardness, I guess, of it. But I wouldn't say that the K-pop Demon. I don't think they're either as bad. I just think for the sake of this, I guess. I'm also like in general, if I do comparisons, if I think one side might be losing more, I might give a point to them. I'm kind of unfair with this a bit, but whatever. In terms of the plot of Sinners is basically it's a home invasion kind of style movie where just the vampires are trying to get into Smoke and Stack's bar, and they have to fight them off. And in K-pop Demon Hunter, you have the trio that is trying to restart the Han Moon, and in the process, they are trying to stop all the demons and Guima from taking over. So I think the plot of K-pop Demon Hunters was more entertaining. You also have like Rumi, she's trying to hide the truth about herself as a half demon from Zoe and Mira. So I thought that was more intriguing compared to Sinners, where it was fine. The plot of Sinners, it was just like in general, like it's a horror movie, and horror movies, like I've stated before, I'm not a big horror fan. So just it's not my type of movie, so I just didn't end up liking it as much as probably some other people did. But yeah, it was still fine, like with the whole home invasion of the vampires trying to get in, and like it did feel a bit like it lacked like tension because the vampires could only get in if they're invited in, so it felt like there was really no threat, to be honest. So. But yeah, I'm going to give the plot to K-pop Demon Hunters. In terms of the cultural impact, this is a good one. I think Sinners probably has more of a cultural impact. I think more people have probably heard of Sinners compared to K-pop Demon Hunters. But I do think that, especially recently, I'm pretty sure that the movie has been seeing a lot more attention. So I think I'm going to give a point to both. I think both of them had a pretty big cultural impact, so I'm going to give a point to both. In terms of what adults would like more, probably Sinners, I imagine. Just this category usually is... and then kids I think would like K-pop Demon Hunters more. I for some reason have those categories. It's I don't really know why. It's usually just give an extra point to both to each whatever you call it, a contender. So yeah, in terms of clothing, you have Sinners, which is very like early 1900 style. With you have Smoke and Stack. They have some nice clothing that they got on. You got Haley Steinfeld's character, who she has the also a nice no, I don't really know how to describe it. It's just like it's clothing from the early 1900s. It's like plantation clothing, I guess. So, and then K-pop Demon Hunters, where you have you have Rumi, Mira, and Zoe. They're all in like their demon hunter gear, I guess, and you have Jinu and Saja Boys in like regular clothing, like just nothing special. So I'm gonna actually give this to Sinners. I think that the clothing in Sinners was probably better. It looks much more, it stands out more compared to like the K-pop Demon Hunter clothing, I think. So I'm just gonna give it to Sinners. In terms of the action, I think probably I'm gonna give this to K-pop Demon Hunters. I thought that just the fights against the demons were better than the Sinners, where it was like there wasn't too much. I will say it was very good at the end, where you have Smoke, where he goes up against the KKK. I thought that was like probably the best action scene in the film, and I didn't think the movie was gonna have more stuff like that based on the promotional material I saw for it. But like the posters and stuff I saw, like in one of the posters you do see like I think Smoke holding a Tommy gun, so I thought that there would be kind of some more action, but like really it's just that sequence, and then earlier in the film when the vampires break into the barn, so not the barn but the club, whatever, I think it might have been a barn, but I'm not sure, the building that the club was in. So I think that the action, probably I would give it to K-pop Demon Hunters, just because the demon hunted, like they also have like some cool, I'll get to that in the weapons and stuff category, but so yeah, I think the action, I'm going to give it to K-pop Demon Hunters. In terms of the drama, I will give this to, once again, K-pop Demon Hunters. I thought that it was good, the drama with like Rumi like trying to really speed up the process of the Han Moon in order to keep her secret, and then finally when it does get exposed, it's like the drama between like the entire movie. It's like you have Mira and Zoe, they're saying like, oh, demons are terrible, it's like all demons are bad no matter what, and like Zoe's hiding the fact that she is half demon. So I thought that was good drama. Sinners, it's like the drama just basically came from, will they be able to survive the night with the vampires and stuff, and unless I'm missing something, but I don't remember there being anything else. I guess there was Sammy, he wanted to like be a musician, and maybe his father didn't want him to, so maybe that was something. But in terms of the drama, I'm giving it to K-pop Demon Hunters. In terms of equipment / weaponry, I'm going to give it to also K-pop Demon Hunters. I think that is just I thought it was cool. Like in reality, like I don't know why I said in reality, but in Sinners, it's like there is not really any equipment that they use, except for they use like a knife to kill a snake at the very start of the film, and then you have Molotov. I think there was a Molotov cocktail in the film, and then you have Smoke using a Tommy gun against the KKK, but it's just nothing really special. K-pop Demon Hunters, they do have like unique weapons they use. Like I think Zoe has like kunais. I think Mira has one of them has like a scepter, not a scepter, but a spear, I think, and then another one has a sword. I'm pretty sure. So it was cool. It was cool how they were able to just conjure it out of midair and stuff. So I'm going to give the equipment / weaponry to K-pop Demon Hunters. In terms of the actors / voice actors, I will give this to, I'm not really sure. None of the voice actors in K-pop Demon Hunter really stand out, except for like obviously I guess like the singing and stuff is part of the voice acting, but that's more for the soundtrack. But I guess like part of it is that the voice actors, they did a good job singing. So I'll give a point to, I think I'll give a point to both. I think I did like very much Haley Steinfeld's performance, and also Michael B. Jordan's performance. I thought that they were good. All the actors in Sinners I think did a good job. Remick was also very entertaining to watch. So I think that, yeah, I'll just give a point to both. In terms of what I personally enjoyed, this is K-pop Demon Hunters. Definitely, I am just not a big horror fan, and so when it comes to it's weird for me to say that, like, I'm not a big horror fan, because I did like, there are horror stuff that I do like I do like Dead Man's Wonderland. I did recently review Dust Made of Amnesia, which I did like. So in general, when it comes to films, I'll say, when it comes to films, I'm not a big horror fan. Also, like, really, when in general, I'm just not, like, I'm not going to say attracted, that sounds weird, but I'm not, like, horror is not really for me. And so majority of the time, like, unless there's like another genre, if it's the primary genre, I'm probably not going to enjoy it that much. So it's just really when it comes to personal preference, like, it's just horror is just not for me. So and also I did like K-pop Demon Hunters. I did think that it was a very good film. I think that Sony in general, I did mention this in my review for the film, but I think that Sony has been doing a very good job with like the creative art styles that they've been using for their films, with Spider-Verse, Mitchell vs. Machines, now K-pop Demon Hunter. Like, so I'm gonna say that, yeah, so personally I just did enjoy K-pop Demon Hunters more. So in terms of the soundtrack, this is a good one because both films actually do have a lot of good music, I'll say. So so personally, I think that just K-pop Demon Hunters has like a lot of good songs, like a lot of good original songs. So I'm going to definitely give them a point. But Sinners does have like the best sequence of the film, with like Sammy playing his like guitar and stuff, and he's like transcending time. It's like you have like music from a bunch of different eras and stuff. So I did really like that. And so, this is the soundtrack, but the soundtrack doesn't really imply like just the soundtrack of the movie. It just implies like any music that was related to the movie. So I think that it was K-pop Demon Hunter was better. And I don't know if I should give like a point also to Sinners, because it was just that one scene, and I can't really remember any other moments where it's like the soundtrack was other than that one scene. So I'm just gonna give it to K-pop Demon Hunters. But I will say that Sinners did have like a very good scene with like a good soundtrack with Sammy playing his guitar. So that was good. I think it was guitar. I'm pretty sure it wasn't a banjo. It might have been a banjo actually, but I'm gonna call it a guitar. It might have been a banjo. And finally, last category, the visuals. I'm just gonna have to give this to K-pop Demon Hunters. It is just beautifully animated. It looks really nice. And Sinners does have good visuals, though. It is like with the vampires and stuff. It doesn't look bad or anything. It does look nice. So, just overall, all the animation of K-pop Demon Hunters, it just definitely outclasses any of the visuals that were used in Sinners. But definitely, Sinners does have some good visuals. But just overall, I think K-pop Demon Hunters just had better visuals. So the final score, let's see here, Sinners has a total of 6 points, and K-pop Demon Hunters has, let's see here, 3, 9, 12, 15, 16. So it is 6 for Sinners and 16 for K-pop Demon Hunters. That was the comparison. If you have any recommendations, any shows, movies, video game stories, anime, web series, anything that you want me to review, rank, compare, anything, if you have any new categories you want me to add for the comparisons, then you can also leave that. Any suggestions I will take. So yeah, that is pretty much all there is to it. So let's leave it at that.